Hi everyone, I'm upstairs in my study sitting at the desk as usual. I've been thinking about the news, from across the pond of course. I wonder how familiar you are with these pictures. We tut-tut about the States, what's going on in the States so much these days. The church there has been accused of racism. But we are just as guilty here in the UK and in Kidlington. It's what the pulling down of statues and the Black Lives Matter movement is all about. But how did we get here? How did we move away from what Jesus taught as being in the DNA of his followers? It's a long story going back at least 300 years to the beginning of the so-called Enlightenment. It involved even Cromwell in his time, in his treatment of the Irish, and even before him, with the support, our support, of a nationalistic church. The interpretation of the divine right of kings was indirectly part of this too in English history. This in itself established a us and them way of thinking. And that is not even to mention the paternalistic aspect of this teaching. What Jesus taught and the first Christians modelled was that everyone who repented and baptized was counted as members. This means that in practice we accept as equal to us those whose lives demonstrate that their mind, their DNA has been changed, that they live differently. Previously they were ruled by something or someone else, but now they live differently and are inspired by the Spirit of Jesus. This is what united the first Christians. This was the theme of Paul's letter to the Colossians, and indeed to the Ephesians, and even indirectly his letters to the Romans and to the Galatians. His aim in the collection of the churches from the churches of the Gentile world for the Jewish Christians in Jerusalem was also an expression of this. These people are brothers and sisters. They count just as much as you do and I do, is what Paul was saying. How will this come to expression amongst us today? It will mean regarding all people as equals. It will mean being practical politicians. It will mean that we take our stand with the refugees, with the migrants, with the outcasts of our society. No one will count less than me, that's me, because I am the greatest in the kingdom of heaven, like others who believe in Jesus. Anyone who seeks to join us as Jesus followers will be welcomed. That's how we should live. As Paul says in Colossians chapter 3 and verse 11, there is no Greek, no Jew, no circumcised and no uncircumcised, neither Scythian nor barbarian, nor slave nor free, but the Messiah, Jesus, is all and in all. That's how we ought to live today.